My name's Jeff Makarevich, and welcome to Wine and Dine with Jeff, where I'll make a healthy dinner from start to finish and pair it with wines from around the world. Let's fill up that glass.
Hi, I'm Jeff Makarevich, and welcome to Wine and Dine with Jeff. Today, we're doing a Polish Kluski, smothered in this creamy pumpkin goat cheese sauce that you will love, and topped with bacon lardons. And we're pairing it with this Fess Parker white wine that is a V&A blend that you will definitely love. But let's get started here. Right here in front of me, I'm doing bacon. But you don't have to use bacon, and I want to show you how thick cut this is. This is not thick cut bacon. This is from a slab. So the important thing is you want to have at least a quarter inch thick. Excuse me, I apologize. You want at least from a ½ inch to 3/4 inch thick cut. And you're coming down here and just doing slices of this. And a little tip to go through them a little bit easier with your knife is just to put the bacon in the actual freezer for just probably about 15 minutes, just so it takes a little firmer for the knife to go through. Now look at our bacon lardons. Now those are gonna be amazing. What's great about these is they'll be crispy on the outside, like you can fry up thin bacon, but juicy in the middle. Now let's get them rendered out. Now remember, anytime we're trying to render fat out of anything, whether it be bacon, pancetta, anything like that, you start with a cold pan. Like I have right here, as you see, I'm touching the bottom of the pan. I'm separating all the actual lardons apart, so they can get, nice and crispy. I'm turning this on a medium low because you first want to render out all the fat before we crisp up the outsides. So we'll let that go. I'll bring you back. And a real quick tip about a lardon, because a lot of people are like, are lardons smoked like bacon? Are they like pancetta, more flavored Italian style, non-smoked? It's really about the thickness of the bacon is the lardon. So you could use any type of pork belly you want, and just as long as you get that at least the minimum of a ½ inch thick. I went to 3/4 of an inch thick today. Our bacon lardon is done. As you can see, it is, and look at all the fat that rendered out. But these are still, with a slotted spoon, just take them and put them on a nice paper towel like you're doing bacon to drain them. And we are gonna save 3 tablespoons of that bacon fat, because that is how we're gonna start our cream sauce. So look at that. These bacon are crispy on the outside and juicy in the middle. So let's get started on those Polish Kluski. Let's start on our easy but delicious Polish Kluskis. And if you didn't know, I am Polish, so I learned this from my grandmother, who's 100% Polish. My dad's 100% Polish. So I have these down. It's just a really easy dumpling. So in the middle here, I'm just gonna add 2 eggs, and all the measurements are right down below in the description center, and break those apart in there. And why I'm starting with this, I'm gonna whisk this together, and I'm adding some salt here too. Because if you start with the whisk, what's gonna happen is this is gonna be a huge, thick clump first, and I find it all gets caught in the middle of the whisk. So, and then you just want to slowly add the water. Let me grab that. And I'll tell you exactly how much we're going to be adding here. You start off with adding about a cup. So you want to keep going. This is not going to be like an actual noodle that you're going to need and take all this time. And I'll show you what the consistency will be like. But we used to have this every Sunday dinner. My grandmother would make this for us. And this is not how she would make it, by the way. I put a little chef spin on it, putting it with this decadent goat cheese cream pumpkin sauce. Now it's at the consistency where I can use the whisk and bring it all together. So let's get rid of that. And I remember, how she would do it is every Sunday, it would be with a roast chicken and Klukskis. And what would be on the Klukskis would be the gravy. It would be a mushroom gravy. And my cousin Diane, we would fight over the mushrooms all the time. We'd be like, okay, Diane, you took all the mushrooms. I want those mushrooms. So if you can see the consistency, it's almost like a batter-like consistency, like you're going to make pancake batter. So I have our water here, a salty, salty water like the ocean, good palm full of salt. We'll bring that to a slight simmer, and I'll show you how we drop it in. I transferred it to a plate because this is what I would watch her do all the time. She would take a spoon just like this, take it and dunk it into the water, and it'd fall off the spoon, and then come back in for another one, dunk it in the water, and you keep doing that. And it's gonna make little beautiful dumplings that are so delicious. You wanna do this in batches. You definitely wanna do this in batches because there gets to be too many in the pot. So just keep doing what I'm doing, and what will happen is that they will float to the surface. And when they float to the surface, that means they're done. And actually, when they float to the surface, cook them for about 3 minutes after they float to the surface. And when I said batter-like, this is more thicker than a batter-like than, I guess, a pancake batter. It'd be definitely a very thick pancake batter. As you can see, some of them are already starting to float to the top right here. And so I'll just work on these in batches, in 2 different batches. And a tip also to keep them so they don't clump together when you take them out, just put a little pat of butter in when they're really, really hot, and it'll melt and it'll keep them separated. Now to the same pan that the lardons were cooking in, I put the 3 tablespoons of lardon fat, which is the bacon fat, back in there. We're gonna add, that just gives tremendous flavor, let me tell you, to everything. And I have this pan on a medium-low right now. Now I added some shallots, and these are gonna go for such a short time, not long at all. And then I'm gonna touch it off with some actual garlic right here, so that our pan has come down in heat just a smidge. I'm gonna add our garlic, stir that around, and then that'll just go for probably no less than a minute. And while that goes, let's talk about this wine. It is Fess Parker Marcella, and I was able to go to the winery. It's up in the Los Olivos area. It is a beautiful, beautiful place, and this wine is amazing. Let me show you a little bit of the bottle just so you can see what it looks like. There we go. And it is a Viognier blend. There's Marsanne, Roussanne, a Grenache Blanc, but primarily Viognier, which will go perfect with this meal. Let me have a smell. Wow, I'm getting apricot and honeysuckle. Oh, I'm getting now peaches, and on the taste, I'm getting peaches with apricot, a little bit of green apple. It's really, really, really delicious. What's great about this wine, it will cut through this rich and heavy and fatty dish because it has these floral notes and all these wonderful, wonderful fruit notes. It'll help out a lot. So that is done. Let's get back over to the pan here. We have all cooked out everything that we wanted to do. I want to throw in some fresh sage right now. We'll let that just stir in and give flavor to that drippings from the lardon. And then now once that is done, I am hitting the pan with heavy, heavy whipping cream. Now don't worry about this breaking. The pan's on low heat right now. And what we're gonna put in right now is our pumpkin puree. Now you wanna make sure that it's 100% pumpkin puree. That's a really, really, really important tip. You just wanna stir to incorporate here. You want the pumpkin, 100% pumpkin puree. You don't want the pumpkin pie blend. And let's get in our goat cheese. Now that is a soft chèvre goat cheese. Now to this, I have some cinnamon and cloves going right on in. Let's get my trusty plane, and some fresh nutmeg is going right on into the mix too. All the exact measurements are right down below in the description center for you, which will take you over to we'll have a link to take you over to my website. We're gonna still take our nice and warm Kluski, our Polish Kluski that we just made, and we had setting aside with some butter, remember? So we're just gonna add that right on into the mix. Wow, look at this. This is what you call rich, decadent, and delicious. All the above. Wow. Now, this is something my grandmother would not put with a Kluski. I can guarantee you that. This is not something that she would do. But she definitely know how to cook her Polish food. She was awesome at that. So I'm gonna let this keep warming up, that's all. I'm gonna plate up and I'm gonna top it off with our bacon lardons. Before I dig in, I first would like to thank all my subscribers. And if you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my recipes. And don't forget to like and share. And ring that bell, because I have a new recipe every Tuesday. But I can't wait any longer. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of my history of my family, my Polish family. Let me get this delicious Kluski. Oh my God. Wow. All the fall flavors rolled into one. This is super delicious. I hope you try it. Thanks for stopping by Wine and Dine, and we'll see you next week.